Listen, we've got a professional videographer sitting here. We have my husband.
I've been living in a caravan for a day.
He's also English. I immediately had to get this on film. 2021, Gino told me this story. He worked on a documentary called DeepMind.
The multi-gender agenda is the preparation for the alien invasion.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with
No,
you.
don't! It's been real. Trans-humanism. It's coming. Okay, 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗚𝗏𝗡 said it in 2016. I heard it first.
With respect. That is not what I said.
I think, to be fair, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. We've got a professional videographer sitting here. We have my husband, who also is, I'm about to call you professional as well.
I live in a caravan.
Stop it. I immediately had to get this on film because it is super important that people pull their head out of their ass and realize, like, we are on the brink of fucking humanity impaling on itself.
I've been living in a caravan for a day.
He's also English. You guys have a mic. A bunch of amateurs here.
It's a surround sound.
Okay, so
Production
listen.
value is through the roof.
His profession, he directs films. I mean, we've done work together. Okay, but we're doing this anyways on the spot because, and he didn't want to do it. But Gino told me this story almost 4 years ago.
Is it terrifying or is it just like,
Yeah,
what is it?
it's terrifying because we see the memes of, like, you know, Terminator was a documentary. It's like, yeah. And, you know, and people are excited, oh my God, I got a chip in my arm and I can shop at Amazon. And we've all seen the Black Mirror episodes, and we know technology is speeding up faster than, I mean, what's happened in the last 10 years versus the last 100 years. We're looking at moving back home, and my bonus mom said to my husband, oh, you're...
Oh no, explain about the DeepMind thing.
Oh.
I don't think anybody really cares about the fact that I live on my own, in a mobile home.
It's good to laugh. You got to be in the moment because you never...
On Thursdays we go to bowls.
We don't have bowls here in the U.S.
Don't you?
It's called pickleball, I think.
Okay.
You got to live life and laugh. 2021,
you.
Gino told me this story. It's terrifying. So he worked on a documentary, and it's called... All I remembered was that it was DeepMind. And something about the machine, this machine learned how to play a game that needs to be played by humans because there's some kind of, you know, human element to it, not like chess or checkers. And they're like, oh, the machine won't be able to do it. And the machine straight went in, learned it, and then played up against the grandmasters. But anyways, the machine figured out how to fucking play the game that only humans can play, and then it, like, smashed it. And then something about, you know, our ultimate goal is not our goal, but their goal, the elite's goal, whatever, is to turn us all into fucking robots. Okay, 𝗙𝗥𝗢𝗚𝗏𝗡 said it in 2016. I heard it first, so.
With respect. That is not what I said.
I think, to be fair, it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back. There's this game that's far more complicated than chess. It involves a lot of human element and a lot of, you know, perception of, you know, human behavior and understanding what's happening in that moment to even understand the rules of the game that you're playing at that time. I've never played this game. David has actually seen this game. I've never seen it played, but it's played in Asia a lot. Is it? Yeah. It was understood that no software could be able to beat a human in this game because it was just, you know, too complicated. Well, they introduced the software to the game, and within a day, the software understood how to play the game. They kind of, you know, were shocked by this because they didn't think it was possible. Then one of the people who worked for the software, who, you know, understood the game, tried to play, and it beat them. So then at some point they kind of put out like a press release and saying like that, you know, they want to play grandmasters. They believe the software will win. At the actual match, the software annihilated the grandmasters. It was 3 of them, and the one from Japan who was supposed to be quite amazing. He was literally so frustrated that when you watch the documentary, you'll see he's like about to cry. And the software figured out that, like, if you're playing against another computer or you're playing against the simulation games that the software creates for itself, there are more optimal moves to take to win the game. But if you're playing against a human, whenever the game was playing against a human person, an external data coming into the computer, that there were moves that could end the game quicker because the human would begin to get frustrated. And I'm not sure that the game understood, the software, the AI software understood frustration. But what it understood was if you do these things, which were frustrating moves that were considered frustrating to players from other players, that it would frustrate the players and they would make bad decisions and they would end the game earlier.
That's what's childlike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Babies know that, or small children know, if I do this, I get this.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like...
Don't mind my dad cleaning the kitchen. He's the man of the hour, doing the dishes, putting the food away, feeding us. It's been great. We love you, parents.
Yeah, it's been like a amazing resort out here.
It's great.
You know?
And he just found out he has cancer, and he's like walking around whistling and just fucking zero fucks given.
Now we all seem like pieces of shit. Thank you very much.
So live in the moment and be happy because AI is coming to take your baby.
It wiped the floor with these guys. So then they took the software home, and they were like, "Okay, wow, like we didn't know it was going to do that. Like, wow, it was an overwhelming victory for the software team." They took it back to the studios, and they said, "Well, let's just see how fast it learns, because we don't know how fast it learns this other game. So let's see how fast it learns." They introduced the software to Pong, and overnight, they didn't give it any real directive. They just said the objective is to get this number in the upper right-hand corner, which is a score, as high as possible. And of course, the first few rounds, the first few times the ball is released, the software just let the ball pass by. The number doesn't go up, game is over, it failed. And it bounces off. Oh, okay, we can move this thing side to side. Well, they come back the next morning, and the software on every single serve has figured out how to hit the ball in a way that sends the ball behind the bricks so that it bounces up against the bricks over and over and over and over and over again until it knocks out all the bricks and gets the highest score, as high score possible immediately. Whatever.
Dad, say hi.
So, at that point, the producers were kind of like alarmed. Watch the documentary, you'll see. They were very alarmed, and they wanted to take the documentary in a different direction. They kind of gave the director permission to take it in another direction. And at that point, the conversation was, this is completely unregulated. There's no governing body that says that you can't plug this same learning software into the largest databases that exist. There's no governing bodies. Just to explain how extreme this is, that would be learning how to be that good at Pong overnight would be as if you took a baby home from a hospital and you introduced the baby overnight. You opened the room door and the baby was just reading like scholarly books. You wouldn't be proud. You'd be mortified. Like, it would be scary as hell.
That's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people need to latch onto. It's like, you'd be mortified. Like, if it was given the assignment to make humans happy, and that was its number one job and objective, and that was its assignment, and then it might figure out that the best way to make us happy is to lock us all up and pump us full of dopamine, locked in a cage all day, every single human being.
Right. It's a robot. It doesn't know like your an unspoken rules. It's your directive.
We'll only answer the question you ask. So if you ask it to solve the problem, which is what's the best way to make all people happy, and that solution is put them all in jail cells and pump them full of dopamine, it's answered the question. But if your question is what's the way to make everybody happy without compromising their quality of life and without confining them or restricting them, it'll answer it in a different way. Because ultimately, the software is more intelligent than we are. So it doesn't try and interpret a question. It just answers the question.
The thing that is apparent is that, like, if it continues to learn, right? And it is continuing to learn. That's the objective of opening it on beta phase and allowing like open source software so that people can feed it more data and it learns, right? Well, let's just say it's the objective of this software is not to create art or not to, strip audio from music or whatever. The objective of this software is to simply become more intelligent. what are we basing intelligence on? Like, because
it's just like your example. We haven't defined what that means, so it will take its own definition and execute to that, right?
it determines what its brand of morality and what's good and what's smart and what's best.
Ooh, it's brand.
Yeah, because we all have our own brand
who
of
owns
morality.
all this AI
Yeah.
technology? The elite.
Do they?
The next step is transhumanism,
Yeah. So
right? Because we're, like you said, we're going to be begging the government for a chip so we can get that cyborg eye or whatever.
yeah, there's a road, there's a clear path to everyone getting chips, and it doesn't equal the government forcing us to get them. There's a clear path. The same way the government gets us to do everything they want us to do is that they show us that you're better off with this. Just like for those who feel like the vaccine is the same way, they're gonna make you feel like
Vaccine denier.
it's you feel. I had 5.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I
You
work.
had the booster shots?
I work in arenas where there's like 75,000
Oh,
people.
that's right.
You know, I'm around people all the time.
So
It sucks.
5, 3, 2. I think the takeaway for this is, we need to start paying attention to shit and get our shit together and start focusing on stuff that matters.
The companies that succeed most with this technology are the companies with the most money. Mm-hmm. So what you end up with is basically a version of society where fucking 80% of people aren't needed. They have no money, they have no employment, they have no reason to exist, and you have an elite society, as we do today.
Hunger
that
Games,
ultimately
bitch.
becomes all powerful.
The Hunger Games are already here.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I think the reason why Hunger Games is a little bit harder for people to realize is already a thing is because we think about it like United States of America. But if you thought about the world as one, then the Hunger Games are here already. Because when President Snow said, we're going to show them she's not one of them. We're going to show them her beautiful wedding. Bummings. We're going to show her how happy she is. Whippings. We're going to show them. And then he made the parallel of how to do it. If you just oppose the media of the Met Gala with the media of what's going on in Gaza, not Gaza, but on the Gaza Strip. If you put those two medias together, then you got District 12 and District in the Capitol. Yeah. Those two things are happening simultaneously.
I know. The reason that we don't see it is because we all live in sort of District 1, District 2.
Right.
And we're not exposed to what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
People in the States people in the Capitol, they know, hey, it's upheaval in District 12. But what we really focus on is the Met Gala and the Oscars and the World Series and the Super Bowl is coming up. Boom, we got to be ready. Got to make sure we got our gowns.
That's how Rome fell, right?
And so essentially,
Colosseums.
we know, but
Entertainment.
Is that all civilizations since documents began, all civilizations have lasted between 300 to 400 years. We're due, and it's about 400 years since the Industrial Revolution, we're due the fall of this system.
The multi-gender agenda is the preparation for the alien invasion.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with
No,
you.
don't. Oh my God. It's been real. Transhumanism. It's coming to a town near you. Okay.
Yeah, that's the main message.
Get your cyborg eyes out. Anyway, it's been
Natural
real.
cocks.
I don't know.
That sounds
I
nice.
don't know.
Kinky enough.
I still can't believe we shot this on an iPhone in yellow light and didn't even have a mic up.
But it's
close
not
to
like you
your
have a
mouth.
couple miles. You got a couple.
On Tuesdays, we go to
so-
the zoo.
We'll tell you that story later.